Millions of women are entering perimenopause and menopause every year, and most of us were never taught what that means for our bodies, our brains, or our hormones. Our next guest is on a mission to change that and help women take control of their health. Please welcome double board-certified doctor of medicine and author of the new book, Hormone Havoc, a science-backed protocol for perimenopause and menopause, Dr. Amy Shah. Dr. Amy, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to get right into the meat of this. Can you break down the difference between perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause, and how do women know when they've entered each phase?
Yeah, it's so hard because perimenopause can start as early as 30s, your late 30s, into your 40s and 50s. And then menopause is really just one day of your life. It's when you haven't had a period for 12 months, and that day, you hit menopause. And after that is postmenopause. And so it's really interesting because most people get them all confused.
Yeah.
Perimenopause is really the stage where things are changing and you have to kind of decide what to do. The problem is there's no good blood test to accurately diagnose perimenopause. So a lot of women are like, is my fatigue perimenopause, or am I just tired, from kids or work? So it's a very difficult thing. That's why most doctors don't talk about it. That's why people get confused about what's hormones and what's not.
Yeah, because you spend half your life, like from the point you go into puberty, they're like, what are your symptoms? Well, I'm anxious, I'm a little irritable, I'm tired. Well, that could be...
I know.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But when we are talking about hormones in relation to women's health, we generally think about puberty and pregnancy. So, but your book really breaks down the role hormones play in perimenopause and menopause. Can you explain that?
Well, the thing is, we never get a handbook for what happens after 35, right? We get a little bit of a class for puberty. Awkward, whatever, but we get it, right?
Sums it up, yeah.
And then with pregnancy, there's, what to expect when you're expecting, or you have a conversation with your doctor and they kind of give you, what to think about. There's no book. There's no handbook for perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. And I thought to myself, what if we just put it all together, put it in a book, just nutritional, lifestyle, general things that could make you feel better, make you feel more energized, and help you through this time.
Well, and you know how much those things can be changed through nutrition and food, and yet so few people know about that.
That's the thing.
But on the topic of hormones, I want to ask you about hormone replacement therapies. So I'm hearing so much about them, especially with the FDA's recent approval to remove the black box warning. I remember when this became a thing, and it was very controversial or seemingly so. So how do they work, and what should we know about them? Okay,
hormone replacement therapy, I think for the last 25 years, it was like, do not go there, do not ask any. All throughout my training and the years after, it was a scary thing associated with breast cancer because of one study, the WHI study. And now, when we looked back at that study, realizing that actually didn't really increase the risk, at least for a group of people. There's only a small group of people where it did. And so one of my colleagues says, we need to make the decision on facts, not fear. And now we're finally at the place where we can have more facts, and it is something that can be safe and effective for many, many women.
And to know there could be relief, that there are answers and things that could make life more bearable.
That's right.
For so many years, it feels like, of our lives. But you're a nutrition expert, and you've designed your own protocol to help women manage menopause systems. Can you take me through your 30-33 system and explain how it works?
Okay, so most women, all women, have mostly gotten diets that help them get smaller.
It's all we thought about for most of our lives.
Yeah, and people don't tell you that, hey, it's actually more important to focus on how to get stronger gut, stronger bones, stronger muscles, stronger brain. And so I thought to myself, if I had to redesign something, look at all the research and create something, what would it be? So it's 30 grams of protein in your first meal. 30 grams of fiber throughout the day. And 3 servings of probiotic foods.
3 servings.
Yes, and this is based on science. We don't eat fiber in our American diet. 95% of people are not getting enough fiber, and even more percent of people are not getting enough probiotic foods. And so we know about the protein story. We've been learning more and more about protein, but that fiber and that probiotics is so important because the gut controls hormones.
You're so right. The protein part I have heard a lot about, but I haven't heard as much about the others. Is this something, this 30-33, that everyone could benefit from, or is it specific to women and menopause?
So it's a great question, because when I looked at the literature, it's always mixed genders, it's always different ages. But I thought to myself, you know, people always write diet books or like give plans for men based on men, right?
Yeah.
And women just adapt to it.
Yeah.
But what if I created a framework for women, designed for women by a woman, and then everyone can adapt to it. Teens can adapt to it, the husbands can.
Yeah.
They'll benefit from it too.
Well, I was going to say there's nothing to lose with focusing on protein, fiber, and the gut health.
Yes.
Do you have advice for men on how to best support a loved one or a partner who's going through menopause? Because that's one thing we also talk about. For as little information and literature there is out there as we go through these phases, there's really no information or guidance on how to support someone going through this.
That's absolutely so important. So men or partners can support their wife or their partner by actually learning what's going on. Because I was at dinner one day and the husband said to the wife, "Oh, don't worry about it. You don't need this book. You're too young." And I thought to myself, no, she's in her 40s. So perimenopause starts in your late 30s for many people. It goes for 10 years. Some people are in their late 30s or early 40s when they're starting to feel these symptoms. Yeah. And it's not like something that just happens when you're quote unquote old, right? So I was thinking to myself, like, he needs to be educated.
Yeah.
So he can support his partner on what she's going through.
And so many of our health decisions are cumulative in when that hits you. From certain skin cancers, they say it's what you did when you were younger.
Yes.
So it's so important to kind of have a runway for that. And speaking of skincare, I'm obsessed with it. And I often hear the quote, the best skincare in your 50s is sunscreen in your 20s. What is the menopause equivalent to that?
Okay, so I have a daughter, and I keep telling her that her peak muscle mass and bone mass will be at age 30. Okay. And so everything that you're doing before 30 is a reserve for your body. And so when you are younger than perimenopause, you should be doing everything you can to build that muscle, build that bone. And a lot of us never were told that, and we just ended up, not eating enough, not doing strength training. And so we really have to kind of work so much harder now. So
that's one of the benefits of, I was an athlete. And so one thing that was really emphasized was strength my whole life. And I look back and I'm grateful because so much of that you do rely on as you get older.
Yeah.
But there's so much noise out there surrounding treatments for menopause symptoms. So before we go, I'm going to name some popular things that people try. And can you rate them on a scale from 1 to 10? Okay?
10 being the best?
10 being like nailed it.
Yes.
You have no menopause.
Yes, loved it.
Okay, intermittent fasting.
Okay, if you do it circadian style, which means eat an early dinner, I think it's like a 7, 8.
Protein supplements.
I think everybody needs them. You can say food is best, but we need them. So I would say 8 also.
Vaginal probiotics.
Don't need them. That's a 2.
Cold plunges.
Cold plunges don't have as much longevity data as people think. So if you love it, do it like it's a 6.
Who loves that? Okay, saunas.
Saunas have great longevity data behind them. It's like an 8 out of 10.
Wow. Eliminating spicy foods.
No, spicy foods are so amazing.
Why would you eat if you can't eat spicy?
Yeah, spicy foods are great for your gut. It's like a 2.
Okay, red light therapy.
If you love it, it's great, but sauna itself is better. So I would say 6.
Vibration plates.
Oh gosh, they're all the rage right now, but not great data. It's like a 5.
Prioritizing nutrition and sleep.
Oh, that's a 10 out of 10. The best thing you could do.
Magnesium, omega-3, and vitamin D supplements.
Oh, I love those. Those are the ones that have data behind them. That's a 9 or 10 out of 10 if you can take it.
Wow, that's like a cheat sheet for everything.
I'm telling you.
Thank you so much. This was such helpful information from someone that will benefit from this. So thank you very much.
I'm so grateful.
To buy her new book, Hormone Havoc, a science-backed protocol for perimenopause and menopause, scan the QR code on your screen, and thanks for watching.